Hello, my name is Alex, and today I want to speak with you about how you can create a mail merge with multiple attachments using VBA and Outlook working together. So I'll just say up front that I'm not a VBA expert. I'm just a simple guy that I had this task that I need to send lots of email with different attachments, and I was so exhausted of opening an email, copying past the template, attach, modifying the email and send it, and I find it very time consuming. And when I finally learned a bit of VBA, I could make it happen. So in the solution I will show you the code that I made, and you will need to know a bit VBA to modify it. So sorry for that, but I'm going to share with you the template and explain a bit the different codes, and if you are passionate enough to make it happen for you, I'm certain that you will manage to make it work for you as well. So let's dive into the solution. So this is the Excel. This is just an example with few of the columns that I created, and I will just demonstrate you the actual code. But before I will do it, I'll just explain really quickly. So we're gonna send the emails to this list, okay? And I'm gonna create the actual attachment that I want to use in this Excel. So we have a letter that I'm gonna create here, and I'm gonna save it as PDF. So there is gonna be dynamic and according to the list here. I'm gonna save it and then attach it, okay? So this is the method that I'm using here when I'm creating the actual attachments that I'm gonna be dynamically changed according to the list that we have here in Excel. I'm gonna attach it to the Outlook that I'm gonna send. I know that maybe in your case you already have saved attachments somewhere and you want to use them when sending in emails. So I will probably create a separate separate video YouTube for that. But in this one I want to focus on creating the actual attachment that you want to use in Excel. So if in your case you're creating those attachments in Word or in Adobe or somewhere else, you'll need to do it here, okay? You'll create something similar to this with as many pages as you will not want. So this one is very straightforward. It's just dear, and then it's going to be first name is going to be constantly will change, and the dates will change as well according to the data we have here, and I will show you soon how. I found that the best way we'll do just pressing page layout. We'll press this button to see it as a page. Okay, so let's run a test and see how it's gonna look. So boom, I have drop down, yes. Drop down the button, send. Boom. Where do I want to save the attachments? Those are the attachments we have here as the letters. Where do I want to save them all? I want to save them in mail merge folder. Send. Boom, boom. Letter was saved and sent successfully. Thank you. We got the dates and time. That's very nice. Sorry, jumped over. So I have delays on all of my emails. I have 1 minute delay, and I suggest you to do it as well when starting to test the code. What we got the email from the list. We got subject, offer of employment, together with first name, last name, employment ID as well changed. Dear, first name, body of the email, That's it. And of course, the actual attachment, dear first name, I would like to confirm your employment from start date until the end date. Sweet, it's working. Okay, let's delete this. Another thing, you don't want to send 60, 70 emails when you're starting to test it. Okay, just send to 2-3 people at the beginning when you test your code, and put delay on your Outlook, or put your Outlook on offline. Okay, that's my suggestion, because you don't want to send accidentally the wrong thing, the wrong text, the wrong email. Something go wrong, you need to test it. Okay, so let's go and dive into the actual code, and I'll go really briefly because I hope you know a bit of VBA, or you're really keen to learn, and you'll get the rest of the things. If you want to understand something, you'll find a solution somewhere else, or to understand the code in more details. Okay, so let's go to the developer, Visual Basic, or just Alt F11. Okay, if you don't have the developer, you need to go to Options, Custom Ribbon, and then tick the developer, and you'll have the tab. Okay, so let's look at the code. And something really important, before you test the code, you need to set up the library of the VBA, because VBA is working with different softwares, Outlook, Word, and he has the option, but you have to confirm that you want to use them. And this is really important because it's not going to work otherwise, because we're using here Outlook in our VBA. And it's the same thing if you want to give the code to somebody else and he doesn't know that you need to use the library, it's not going to work. So you need to make sure to tell somebody, if you pass it on, to set up the library. And how do you do it? You go to References, Tools, References. It's called Microsoft Outlook 16.0 Object Library. So here it's at the top, and in your case, because it's already chosen, it's already ticked, in your case you need to go down to Microsoft Outlook and then tick it, then okay. Okay, that's it, we're ready to go. So we have a nice name, then we have this code that actually asked us at the beginning where do we want to save the attachment that we created in Excel. Next thing is giving a name to the sheet. Then we're creating a loop that will count column A. As long as it's not empty, it's going to count it, and we'll go through the loop from 2 until as much values that we have in column A. So in this case we have 1, 2, 3, 4 values, so it will go from 2 until 4. Go each row, boom, boom, boom. So this is really important, because if in column A you have empty value, or you might have an empty value, so please choose another column where you're certain that it's not going to be empty. So let's say in your case column B is not going to be empty, so change this to B and B. Okay, then this is the most important. I'm setting up the variables for each column. So ID will be column A, first name will be column B, and so on. So in your task you might need to add more and more and more and more columns. So then you just copy and add and change the name to whatever you want. Okay, then we're starting with the if statement. So it's going to ask us if column G equal yes, then perform the task. If no, go to the next one. So this is why it's really important to put a drop down. This is to avoid any error. Because if you accidentally put yes lowercase, or yes uppercase, or yes but with the extra space in this column, then the code will think that it's not yes and will skip it. So that's why it's really important to put a drop down. How do you do it? Quickly I will show you. You go to Data tab, Data Validation. Here you choose List and then the source. So where the values are sitting in, they're in here at the moment. So you chose one cell that says yes and one that says nothing. So this is the only option that you can actually choose. Okay? I put here blah 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 blah, boom. So that's how we can avoid any error when we send in. And the next thing, so if it's yes, copy the row. If it says yes here, copy the row here. So let's copy, just to show you an example. If it was yes, copy it and copy it here. And now, because it's copied here, the template that I created here is referring with all the cells here to the values here. Okay? So now it says dear first name, and then we have the dates and everything. So here you can create anything that you want. You can put even a logo and a fancy pictures and things to make it more formal and practical, but it can be very, very flexible. You can do anything you want here in Excel. So that's the amazing thing. You can make it as many pages as you need. You can, if you're more expert, you can even add another sheet with another templates and then maybe perhaps using them. Okay, so let's go back to the code. So then select sheet 3, so that's this one, and save it as PDF. And it's going to use S folder, that's the actual folder we chose at the beginning of the code, this one, and this one is the name of the file. So we have the date here, I put a format of this type of date, space, first name, space, last name, and offer of employment. Fantastic. Then setting up the library for the Outlook, and then opening an Outlook template. So in this code, you have to create an Outlook template before creating the code or testing the code. Okay? So in my case, this is the template that I created, and I really like this method because it's highly flexible. You can put anything in this email that you want. You can put a special signature with the logo and everything, and it will use it. And you just need to make sure that you put your signature off, so it won't put them automatically. You set it up once here, and you can do whatever you want. So if you have multiple emails that you're using and you want to use only one, so you can choose it here. 2, it's something that we don't need to put because we're gonna put it at the code. CC, we can either put it at the code or we can put it here if we have the same person that we constantly sending the emails to, and we want to CC the same person, I mean, always. But if it's not the same person, so don't put here anything. Subject, you can, if it's the same subject, you can either put it here, or if it's something that you want to change, then you need to put it in the code, and you'll see shortly. And then we have the body of the email. So we have dear, replace first name, because that's what I want to change. And then the rest of the body of the email. So if you want to add additional variables, then you just put replace and date. And depends what you want. Okay, then we do shift, right click on the mouse, copy as path, and copy, Control V. So now we gave the location of the template for VBA. So it will know to open that template, and here it's gonna start replacing the variables according to what we said at the body. So I said replace first name with first name. Okay. So first name is column B, and column B as the first name. Okay. So you don't have to put actually replace first name. You can put any string that you want, but the code, the VBA, the command, need to know what string to look for and replace. So you can put here hash first name, and then as long as you put, sorry, what's the template? You put here the hash, so now it will know to change this. Okay, so it depends on what you want to put. Okay. If you need to replace additional things, just copy paste the code. Okay. And for some reason, and I couldn't really understand, but in the code you always have to leave one extra replacement code, or else it's gonna skip one. Or so that, trust me, you just have to do it. Okay. Next one, let's go to the email. Who do you want to send it to? So we have the email variable, and that's column F, that's all the emails. CC is at the moment disabled with this character. If you want to CC somebody, and it always will change, depends on what you put the column. So then you just need to create another column, give it a name. So if it's going to be in column G, so then you create another variable saying cc whatever is in G. At the moment it's a drop down, but you can change everything. It depends on your situation. Okay, this was just an example, quickly to demonstrate. Don't want to CC anybody, I'll hide it. Then we have the subject of the email, so you can put here something that will be variable. So in this case it's offer of employment, first name, last name, then employment ID, and then attachment. You can put many attachments. In this case, in the brackets, you need to put the path of the file. So the path we already have it because we had it here. So the path will be all this. I basically copy it here, but because it's already saved and it's a PDF, at the end you have to put .pdf. So if in your case you modify the code and you didn't save the document as PDF, but maybe you saved it as Word document, then you'll need to change here as well, not PDF, but to put doc or docx. Depends on the format of your document. And then send. And I forgot to mention, of course, that the template that you create here, you can add additional documents that you might use. So if you have maybe instructions or a map, something, a policy, it's always the same thing for everybody. You can already attach it here, and then it will add your attachment to this. You'll get 2 attachments and you'll send it. So it's very flexible. That's why I really like this method. Okay, and send. Clear content. That's clearing the yes from the drop down, and then give it a stamp date. Now it will give us the date and the time. So if you don't want the time, you just want the date, you can change it to date. Okay. And then clear the content from sheet 2. Just we'll clear this one. And then will give us a message box. Letters were saved and sent successfully. So if you don't want any fancy messages, just delete it. Or if you want to modify it, you can just write anything you want here, delete this, put anything you want. And I really hope you enjoy my video about mail merge with multiple attachments, doing it in VBA, working with Outlook. If you like my clip, the video, please give me a thumbs up or leave me a comment. If you have any questions, you can ask it at the comment or email me. I'll put my email in the description below. And I'll be even happy to share my Zoom details if you have Zoom, and we can meet together, and maybe you can give me a specific task that you need the mail merge and this video didn't give you the solution. I'll be happy to try and help you, because I'm really passionate about the mail merge thing, and because it really helped me, I really wanted to help other people as well. So see you next time.